The clamor for review of workers' wage in Nigeria is born out of the hyperinflation rocking the nation's economy. Nigeria's annual inflation rate rose to 33.20% in March from 31.70% in February, and there was a subsisting agreement for periodical review to align with the cost of living and inflationary indices for adjustment. As of the last update, the national minimum wage in Nigeria was established at 30,000 naira. Galaxy News correspondent Lebby Joseph takes a look at these evolving developments in this report.
The argument of the labour leaders for the upward review of workers' wages is that current minimum wage of 30,000 naira can no longer cater for the well-being of an average Nigerian worker. Salary of workers cannot conveniently foot just transportation bill through the month, talk less of putting food on their table.
In the last, let me just say, 1 year plus, the issue of minimum wage occupy a very central place on the workers' fundamental issue. And you will see clearly that it's not just they are putting it as if it's just become an attempt to them. But because of the prevailing circumstances we have found ourselves, it's very obvious that minimum wage, the present wage, cannot take workers to anywhere.
The question is minimum wage the problem that we face? And the answer obviously is no. Minimum wage, the issue of minimum wage is only a very small part of the entire economic equation. First of all, let's put things into context. When you talk about minimum wage, especially in the Nigerian context, it really addresses mainly government workers, federal government workers, state government workers, and local government workers. Workers in the private sector, organized private sector, and the informal economy represents a significant proportion of the workforce of the country.
Calling for living wage for Nigerian workers is not a new thing, because in the year 2018, the Trade Economics reported that living wage for an individual and a Nigerian family, 243,200 naira per month and 137,600 naira respectively, and this was before the removal of subsidy. Presently, no labourer can live in Nigeria with a wage less than 100,000 naira monthly.
So if you increase minimum wage, you have to ask the question, what quantum of money will that result in as regards to money supply in the economy? And you find that it will likely be an inconsequential increase in money supply. And it's money supply that drives inflation apart from the cost push inflation. So what will happen when you increase minimum wage is that the market people will recognize that people have more money in their hands, and they will increase prices artificially.
In a normal environment, in a decent society, it is not the increment of salary supposed to have solved the problem, but to put the economy in a decent shape. But don't let us deceive ourselves. In a capitalist setting, those people who created the problem, they cannot resolve the legal crisis. And that's the more reason the only concession workers can get from this present system is for us to demand for their right within the context of the economy.
However, in Nigeria, once there is salary increase, the price of everything goes up. And nothing that has gone up ever comes down again, going by experience. So, what should be the priority of everyone is what government can do to stabilize the economy. Thereby, what people earn now will be adequate to cater for their needs as well as plan for the future.
One set of ruling elite cannot be enjoyed, while vast majority will continue to languish in abject poverty in the midst of plenty. God has given us abundant resources, both human resources and natural resources. But just a little elite, people who are less than 5% of the working populace, are dominate and corner the resources for the betterment of themselves and their cronies.
As we're facing, the inflation problem is a huge problem. And closely associated with that is the cost of living problem. Now, the cost of living problem was created by inflation, but has taken up a life of its own. So you now have a situation where, even though inflation drove us to this point, now it looks as if prices have taken on a life of their own. And even when the factors that resulted in the inflationary trend have been abating, cost of living is not going down. My own postulation has always been that it will go down, but it will not go down as quickly as it came up.